And still with social media, I was joined earlier by the Chief Technology Officer of Cisco Systems, Padmasree Warrior. Based in California, Ms. Warrior was named one of the top 10 most influential women in IT by the Financial Times and one of the top 100 most creative people in business by Fast Company magazine. Padmasree Warrior, welcome to the programme.
Hi, Tiki. How are you doing?
Now, social media is giving consumers a bit more of a say, but the idea is that it should force brands to be more transparent and honest. Is this actually changing business yet?
Yeah, I think social media, it in a way forces companies to be more authentic or more transparent, because it gives a voice to the consumer and a reach to the consumer that they didn't have before. So, for example, when we launch a product or launch an initiative, or even at Cisco Live, where I am at in Melbourne today, we always ask for our customers to give us feedback. And oftentimes they ask us questions that they otherwise don't have access to talk to me as the CTO for a large technology company. And so social media, in a way, breaks down the barriers and forces companies to have a level of authenticity that perhaps they didn't need to have before.
What about the take-up by business? I see a report this month in the UK on the FTSE 500 companies shows that 60 have no sign of social media on their corporate websites, despite half of them having some presence in social media. They don't seem to have got the groundswell concept.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the adoption rate with respect to social media and how companies leverage that varies by the company. Cisco is probably a leader in the space. A lot of times we actually use virtual ways to communicate our brand and do some of our advertising first on the social space than we do on physical advertising. It's more cost effective for us, and in some ways it actually reaches a broader sense of audiences. What I see happening, though, is most companies typically have a presence on social media, and they use it primarily to push information out versus taking input or taking feedback. Maybe that's the first way for companies to engage, but the real power of social media is the reverse. When you let conversations and when you let information come back into the company to shape your strategy, to shape your campaign, that's the true power of social media.
Once you've got a corporate Facebook page, though, you've got to keep it updated, of course, and that requires more human resources. Is social media really for everyone in business?
I think it eventually is for everyone because of the reasons that I mentioned before. It allows you to reach a broader set of audience. It allows that audience to have direct contact with the company. But what you said is very true. I think the information, if you are going to have a reach out or a presence in the social media space, you do need to make it current. You need to make it real. I have a huge following on Twitter. I use it to get my Cisco messages out, but I also tweet personal things there. I think the other aspect of social media is that you do need to be authentic. If I only tweeted about Cisco, I wouldn't have as many followers as I did, because people would see it as just a company tagline. Whereas people really want to know the person behind the title. They want to know who I am as a human being behind my title as the CTO of Cisco.
Now, just on Twitter, we saw how Jeff Jarvis turned around the Dell Hell using Twitter, but that's still quite a small part of Dell's business. Is Twitter the driver of traffic that it promises to be?
I think Twitter is interesting. It's an interesting platform because it's very real time. It's very easy to use. It's short and sweet. The reason I like it, it's 140 characters, so it forces you to really synthesize your message when you're communicating. I have 1.4 million followers on Twitter. I get very